is up? We are back. We're filming 2 episodes tonight. Got tons to talk about. We'll get right to it. We're going to start today. On this episode is going to be UFC. On the next episode that you're going to have to check out is going to be all boxing. Today we have Erin Blanchfield. She had 1 fight in the UFC. Went very well for her. She's on with us today, and she's about to jump on here.
Oh yeah, get this set up.
Hey, there she is.
Hi.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
What's up? Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, thanks for joining us. We're just getting set up here. Gabby's gonna take that little screen thing out of there real quick. Okay. Just drag it over. There we go. Now we're talking. Erin, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
So I wanted you on the show because I got to know you after your last fight. I'm sure a lot of people did. I want to get into your story and everything in a second. But so you just had your first UFC fight, correct?
Yes, I did.
How was that experience?
It was really cool. Because I got a short notice call for the UFC back in April, so I kind of went through like the whole fight week thing and everything then. So like this fight week didn't feel like as new, so that was kind of nice actually. I feel like I didn't have as many nerves and stuff going into it. And there was no crowd or anything, so I feel like it was like a really good fight for my first fight because it was kind of like very mellowed out. But it was a good fight and it was a good win, so I'm happy with it.
How did you were training? You said this last one was a last minute call?
No,
the one before that.
April. Yeah, the one before. That fight didn't actually happen.
Right.
But I got a short notice call in April. Yeah.
Right. So this last one, how much time did you have to train?
Oh, I had a long notice. I think they told me in like May for a fight in September, so I had a few months.
Okay. So you are out of North Jersey.
Yes.
Where are you? Like which gym are you training? Who are you training with over there?
Well, I train at a few gyms. So I train at like MK Muay Thai, and Silver Fox BJJ, and like Cordova trained wrestling. And then I cross train at a few other gyms to get some like sparring partners and stuff like that. But those are like my main gyms.
So when are we gonna get you to come down here and train with the Philly guys, with the Sean Brady's and all these, we're brewing with all this talent in Philly, but it's like a separation between North Jersey and Philly.
It's a little far. I have went down there once because I trained with Jamie down over there. But yeah, I mean.
Jamie who? Jamie Colleen?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Are you friendly with her?
Yeah, we are.
She's awesome. Yeah. She was actually the one that when I started this whole thing, when COVID first hit, she was the first person I called, and she helped me kind of create the whole thing when we were still doing it in Zoom, like from my house, her house, and like a TV station, all this stuff. She was like the first person on there. So yeah, she was a big part of it.
Yeah, we trained together at Henzo's a few times. I went down there.
Okay.
Train with her too, Billy. Yeah.
Awesome. So tell me your story. So where did you grow up? And you were jiu-jitsu in the beginning a lot, right? That was your focus?
Yeah. So I started training when I was 7. Because before that I did like dance, but my brother started training martial arts, and I remember I just quit doing dance because I kind of got bored of it. And I went to watch him train, and they like offered me like an intro class, and at that gym they did like no-gi jitsu and kickboxing. So that's kind of like what I started off with. And I did a lot of like jiu-jitsu competition, and I kind of like went to jiu-jitsu a little bit more because it's kind of what naturally I kind of got better at a little quicker. So I started competing in that a lot. But I always trained my striking and stuff too, growing up. But yeah, jiu-jitsu was kind of more of my thing for a while until I got into MMA.
What type of dance were you doing?
What
type of dance were you doing?
Oh, I did ballet and tap.
What a contrast between what you're doing. And is your nickname Cold-Blooded? Is that what it is?
Yes, it is.
That's so funny. I can imagine you doing ballet and being like the cold-blooded ballet dancer. Give me 1 second. Are we good?
Yeah, I was trying to see if I could bring up her volume.
Gotcha. So you're doing dancing. At what age is this again?
I started dancing when I was 3. I think 3 to 6 is when I danced.
3 to
I
6.
don't really remember it too well. I remember a little bit, but not too much.
And your brother was training like just for like for the sport, or he wanted to be a fighter?
No, it was just for the sport because he was super young. Because he's my younger brother, so he was like 4 at the time. So my mom just put him into like, I think they called it like Cubs at the time.
Okay.
He just like, it was just like, yeah, I guess they just did like, it was mostly like games and stuff, but they learned a little bit like how to punch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he was just doing it for like fun at the time.
Okay.
But he's a fighter now too. He's an amateur.
Oh, he is. Okay. Oh, good. Because I was gonna say, how does he feel?
Yeah.
Like he kind of started, and then all of a sudden you're the fighter in the family. So what's the family dynamic like? It's just you and your brother?
Yeah, well, me and my brother are it's only us. But my parents like love it.
Yeah.
They never did martial arts or anything. Well, my dad did a little bit, like boxing and stuff like that growing up, like because he grew up in the city, so he trained at some pals and stuff like that. But they never like were fighters or anything. But they love because they wanted us to get into it just to like learn how to defend ourselves and stuff like that. But they love the competing aspect of it too.
How was the family dynamic growing up? Like, were you guys just a very tight knit family, or?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're super close, especially like me and my brother now are super close. Like he came and cornered me in my last fight, and we trained together all the time. He helps me out a lot, so we're all super close.
I read somewhere, was it that your dad asked you like what you wanted to do, and then you said, well, I want to fight, and he's like, all right, well, if you're gonna do it, kind of like, all right, you're all in, like this is it. I mean, I might be misquoting it, but was he like just super supportive from day one?
Yeah, they definitely were supportive because like when I was 18, I wanted to go pro, but they also wanted me to like go to school and stuff like that. So I still went to school for a while, and they like were like, oh, if you go to school, then we'll support you like 100% with the fighting. But yeah, so I mean, they always knew, like I kind of wanted to always do it since I was like 12, 13ish. Like I knew I wanted to be an MMA fighter, but when I was 18, then I finally actually could do it, and I did want to do it. So they were behind me 100%.
Did you have what was your amateur like? Did you have, how many amateur fights did you do?
I only had one. I had one amateur.
That's why I have my finger up. Just the one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, well, what was that experience like? And then once you did that one, like you just kind of wanted to get that over with, and then you wanted to immediately start going pro?
Yeah. So yeah, because I did the EBI like that summer before, and I won that. And then right after EBI, I knew I wanted to get into MMA. So I was having a really hard time getting amateur MMA fights actually. Like I had an opponent, and then she pulled out, and then like a week or two out, like this other girl took the fight. And I won that fight by first round armbar. And then after that, I wanted to get like one or two more enemy fights just for the experience. But I just had so many opponents falling out, and like I couldn't get fights, and I didn't want to wait too long between fights. And then CFC offered me a pro fight, so I took that. But actually, it was funny because at the time I was training a lot at Henzo's in New York, and the head of the athletic commission in New Jersey wanted me to get like a letter from John Danaher to go pro because he didn't want to let me go pro because I only had the one amateur fight. So I had to go talk to John and like do some training sessions and stuff with him and get a letter from him. And then once he said I was good, that he thought I was good enough to go pro, they let me go pro.
How does that conversation go? Like, you know, are you I don't want to say the word begging because it's not begging, but like, are you trying to pitch your case for why you should be, and then he's not agreeing? Like, is there a negotiation there, or is it more like, you know where I'm at, and we believe that we can do this?
No, yeah, I think it was more of an understanding because I remember like my manager was like, oh, so like I forgot what his name is, but he's like the head of the athletic commission wants you to get a letter from John Danaher, and I was like, okay. I was like, well, I'm gonna be there like tomorrow, so I'll go and talk to him. So I went and talked to him, and I was like, I told him like what they said, that they want a letter from him, and he was like, okay. He's like, I just want to, because I only trained like jiu-jitsu with him, so he was like, okay, I want to maybe do a few sessions with you just to see like where your striking's at and stuff. He's like, I don't want you to get hurt or anything. And I remember when he said that, I kind of laughed, and he's like, no, I know you're very good, but he's like, I just want to check where your level's at, I don't want to like just say yes and then you go in there and like something and you get hurt or something. But I did a few, I think I did like one or two sessions with him, and he saw like where my level was at, and he was like, oh, you're good. He's like, I'll write the letter for you. He wrote it out. He like let me look over it, and then we sent it in, and they let me go pro.
So what gave you the confidence, like growing up, I guess, that made you feel like, oh yeah, like, well, that's funny. Like, of course I can take a punch. I'm good. I have no worries.
Yeah.
What like who gave you that confidence, or what gave you that confidence?
I think I just started training so young, and I started competing from a very young age. I think I was like 8 years old. when I did like my first like kickboxing competition. And I was always, I was always training and always trying to get better and always like taking like hard fights and stuff like that. And I feel like my coaches and like my family, especially too, they were always super supportive of me and they always had a lot of confidence in me. So I feel like that helps me have a lot of confidence in myself. And the confidence was warranted. I always did the right thing. It's not like I was one of those people that like wanted to fight, but I was like never at the gym or anything. I was always at the gym. I was always putting in the work. So I knew that I was doing what I was supposed to and I was getting better. So I feel like that always gave me confidence.
So then how long did you do jiu-jitsu for? So you did the whole Eddie Bravo Invitational, right?
Yeah.
First of all, how's Eddie Bravo? Did you get to hang or chat with him? He's a unique fellow, isn't he?
Yeah, no, because the thing is, I knew Eddie before that actually, because
Okay.
I had family in Huntington Beach, so we used to like go out there during the summers, and his gym was in LA. So when I was like 13, I think the first time I went out and trained with him, and we went out like a few summers in a row, so I kind of knew him. So when that EBI came around and it was at Flyweight, I like messaged him on Facebook. I was like, because I think he put out a thing like, oh, whoever gets like the most like tags or whatever will get in, and I knew that I wasn't known enough at all to like get in that way, so I just like messaged him on Facebook, and he was like, oh, if you want it, I'll put you in. So that's how I got into that.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, I only know him from what I see out there. He just seems like a funny, like a interesting guy.
I know.
Yeah.
He's super cool.
Yeah.
He's funny.
All right. So then you have your fight, and then Invicta. Is that where you go?
Yeah. So I had the one pro fight with UFC as my pro debut, and then I signed with Invicta. I think like the next month later, and I signed like a multi-fight contract with them. Just because they had a lot of females at the time, and they were putting on more fights and stuff like that. Like CVC is great too, and I went back and I fought with them again actually while I was in Invicta. But yeah, Invicta wanted me after like that first UFC fight, so I went there.
You fought Kay Hansen in Invicta, right? And
yes, I did.
And she's, I think, 2 fights in the UFC now. She went in before you.
Yeah. Yes.
And obviously you beat her in Invicta. What did you? And not, obviously we'll focus on you, but I'm just curious, since you kind of were in the same trajectory. What have you thought about her experience in the UFC? Have you followed it at all?
Yeah, no, I have, because I remember she took that first fight on like short notice against like Jen Fry. That was a nice win for her. And then her next fight, like I think she fought Corey McKenna. I remember thinking I thought she was gonna win that fight, and then like she kind of went in. I feel like her performances are a little hot and cold sometimes. Like sometimes she's very good, and other times it's like you're like, oh, what happened? Like it looks like she just wasn't in there fully. But I know she's taken a while off. Maybe she'll come back better. Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah.
So, first, how does it feel to be officially a UFC fighter? Is it to you kind of like that was the goal, that was the dream? You're there. You're happy. You're kind of excited where you're currently at in your career as a fighter, or is there just levels still left that you want to obviously?
I was going to say that there's definitely levels to this. I mean, this is a huge first step, obviously, but I'm not like, oh, happy, like, oh, I'm here. Like, no, I want to become a champ. So I know that I have like a bit of a road till I get there, but I was very happy with the first fight. I feel like I'll like look back at that fight and make some adjustments and stuff and come back better for the next one, whenever that is. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely levels to this, so I'm just getting started.
Yeah, I always ask that question, and I feel stupid halfway through asking the question because I pitch it as if like you just won the prize, but I don't mean it that way. I just I see it as like when a basketball player who's been trying to play basketball all their life growing up and they finally make it to the NBA. I know it doesn't compare; it's very different because obviously you're one fight away from your career going one way or another every single time you get out there. Where basketball, once you're in, you're kind of in. But it's still a huge accomplishment for somebody who has set their goals to be a professional athlete, in your sport.
Yeah, definitely.
So, all right. So there, I saw you call out Maycee Barber. Was that very intentional? You want that fight with her, or it was just kind of because she had no opponent?
I think it was more because she had no opponent. Like I woke up and I remember seeing like, oh, that she was supposed to fight Montana De La Rosa, and I saw that fight was off, and I was like, I can slide right in there. I was like, it's still like 9 weeks away, so I still have like a full camp and everything. So that was I mean, I knew like I'd probably fight her eventually anyway, so I was like, why not now? Like I don't have a fight lined up. She needs an opponent.
Yeah.
I'm down to fight. It's good notice. It's gonna be like it's a pay-per-view card. It'll probably be on the main event. So it's just all benefits, I think, for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna go one way with that conversation, but I don't know how you feel about Maycee Barber, so I just won't say anything. All right. The only person I know who knows Maycee Barber is Jamie Colleen, who fought Maycee Barber. So, but anyway, maybe you know that stuff. So no, like you have no idea if there's nothing brewing right now as far as upcoming fights for you, right?
No, I haven't heard anything official yet.
Okay. What is your take on the sport right now and who's out there in your weight division? Like, where are your feelings at?
I mean, there's so many girls that I could fight for my next fight. I feel like one or two more fights I should be into the rankings because I feel like I could beat a lot of those girls. I feel like in the flyweight division, especially, I feel like is a little weak right now. I think they definitely need some new blood. Like I think once I get into the rankings, I can start kind of like I feel like only like the top 5 or 6 are like very good, and then everyone else is like I could definitely like beat like my next fight if I needed to. So I feel pretty comfortable. I just want to see who they give me next.
Give me a name of somebody that's maybe not ranked that you want to fight, and then somebody who's ranked, even if it's number 1, right? That you think that you stack up great against, that you are excited for ultimately getting the fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know Maycee hasn't gotten an opponent yet, so if I could get that, that'd be great. I know she's ranked. I think she's ranked number 13. So if I beat her, that'd put me right into the mix.
So Maycee Barber, basically, that's it. That's who we're. Let's start a campaign. Can we start a campaign after this episode?
Yeah.
We'll just keep on pushing it until it happens. Listen, it's happened before. We got Sean Brady got the Chiesa fight, and that was from this show. Just saying.
Oh, really?
And Chris Dawkins got the Derek Lewis fight, and that was here too. I'm just saying, this might be a good luck charm. Or I'm gonna say it until I have.
Yeah, we'll see what happens after this episode. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah, definitely that I think would be a great fight. Unranked, I'm not really sure. There's honestly so many girls that I'm not even sure who's like at flyweight and stuff right now. But I really don't care. Like I'll just fight whoever they put in front of me. So
awesome. So this weekend is it Mackenzie Dern who fights?
Yeah, I think she's like the main event.
What do you think? What do you think of that matchup? What do you and her having that main event?
I think it's a really good fight. I mean, she's been doing well lately. Like after she had her kid, like it seems like she's been kind of like on the ball. Like,
isn't that incredible? She took a turn like 180 degrees, like, and I don't know if it was a commitment thing or maybe like Mama Bear came out and then she like just like fuck this, we're going full on or something. But she looks there. Dude,
like she looks so, like even her body composition looks so much better. Like she looks like in better shape and she's like a better fight. It's so crazy. Usually you think after someone has a kid that they're gonna come back to be worse.
I swear I don't judge. I swear I'm the last person to judge bodies, and Gabby knows this back there. But I think she came in at the heaviest a female fighter had ever come in one time. Was it like 14 pounds or some ridiculous amount? 8 pounds maybe? I'm exaggerating.
She came in 123 for a 115, which is a huge miss, especially like if you do it percentage-wise, because they're so small already, and that percentage is going to be pretty huge.
Right, and then now she goes and she's like super ripped. she's like she can take a fight at any moment. Good for her. Yeah. I think she's surfing a lot with her boyfriend or her husband or whatever. I think she's got the surfer bod now. All right, so when you're not, are you a big fight watcher?
Yeah, no, I definitely am.
I love that. There's so many.
The girls.
There's so many people who come on or whatever, and they're like they just don't watch it, and I'm like, all right, well, it's not much to talk about here. So who's exciting you right now, male or female, fighting wise? It could be MMA or boxing. Like who are your favorites to watch?
Well, right now I feel like the 155 for the guys right now is super exciting. Like that Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira matchup. Like I'm so pumped to see that fight. And also the Gaethje and Chandler fight. I think those are two like really good fights that I'm looking forward to watching. Yeah,
Gaethje and I'm looking forward to Gaethje and Chandler more than I think I am to Dustin and Oliveira. Just I don't know, because of the violence aspect, maybe the potential for violence.
I think so. Yeah, I feel like in the Gaethje and Chandler, like someone's definitely gonna get knocked out. Like no way they fight 5'5", You know what I mean? Or I don't know, is it a 3-round fight or a 5-round fight? I'm not sure.
I think it might be a
But,
3-round. I think it's a 3-round.
3-round fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we'll, if it's 3 rounds, then they might go the distance. But I feel like that'll be a crazy. Like they're both just gonna be like swinging for like. But I feel like Gaethje's gotten a lot better. Like he's a lot more calculated with his striking. I feel like if it was a few fights ago, maybe they would have been like slugging it out.
Yeah.
But I think now it'll be more interesting fight. Like from it, I always like watching fights, like people especially at that level, to kind of like take things away from them, like see like, oh, what are they doing, like the techniques they're using and stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I watch fights. So that's why I'm pumped for that one, and I love watching Oliveira. I feel like Oliveira is super underrated. Like he's so technically good, like everywhere. His striking, his grappling, his wrestling. So that one I'm super pumped.
Well, his fight with Chandler was. I feel like I'm saying Chandler. I don't know why. His fight with Chandler was insane because he lost that fight and then he won that fight like beautifully. That was insane.
Yeah.
That was not what I was expecting.
He has really good fight IQ too. Because like I remember at one point, like when Chandler like had him down, he was like hitting him and he kind of like pulled guard, but he had to pull guard. Like that's the only time I'd be like, oh, you should pull guard.
Yeah.
He would have just got like TKO'd there, because that's exactly what Chandler did to the other, is that the guy from New Zealand?
Hooker.
But I remember, yeah, Hooker. He like TKO'd him that way. He was basically just standing over him, and Hooker was like on his knees, and he was just like hitting him with like crazy shots. So I remember they were like in the same position, and he kind of like pulled guard, and that kind of stopped him from getting hit. And then from there, he kind of like recovered, and then made like a huge comeback in the next round.
Yeah. Yeah, and he didn't win by submission either. So you know what I mean? Like it was just a whole unexpected kind of night with that one.
Yeah.
Well, those are good picks. And then do you take from them their approach to fighting or their striking style? What is it that you kind of love to pick from these guys?
That's kind of the thing. I feel like I like to watch everything about fighters. Like I kind of like to see what their mindset is for like training or like going into fights or just in life in general. And then like also obviously like when they're actually in the fight, like what techniques, especially if they're winning, like what techniques are they using that's helping them win those fights. So I feel like I try to like look and see what aspects like maybe I could add to like my own life and stuff like that when I watch other fighters like that.
Well, I think that's smart. I don't know. I don't want to generalize, but it's good that you look for things to add to your arsenal to improve on different levels, and you're not just thinking that you're your way or the highway when it comes to the sport.
No, definitely not. I try to keep an open mind, and like doesn't mean like I'm going to take everything from it, but I'm always like willing to like see and like just because it's working for them, it might not work for you, but maybe it will. You don't know.
Yeah.
If you don't have an open mind, you won't know. So.
Now, your next fight, you want large audience or do you want Apex again?
I would love an audience because I want like my family to come and all my friends and stuff like that, especially if it's in Vegas. I'd definitely say like the next week after. But I definitely want an audience because I haven't fought in front of an audience in like almost like 2 years, I think. So definitely an audience. Now,
does your family get super rowdy for you? Are they scared in a corner, not wanting to watch, or are they like super pumped and yelling?
Okay, so my parents are a little bit more quiet, but like the rest of my family, like my uncles and cousins, everything, they're super rowdy and they're super fun. So that I think would be really cool.
That's awesome. I feel like that's probably, I don't know, that's a huge reason I think I understand for like as a human, right? You that feeling of having the people you love around you be excited for something that you're doing in that moment, that's got to give you such a cool energy in there and afterwards and everything.
Yeah, especially I mean, it feels like before the fight, I always try to kind of like keep mellow and just like kind of concentrate on what I want to do in the fight. But like after the fight, after I win, I love that energy. So I hope that I have a crowd in my next fight. That's
awesome. Well, listen, I won't take up any more of your time. I thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate it. I think the Maycee Barber fight's going to happen. I'm going to say it right now because I'm going to clip this and we're going to share it and it'll be 3 for 3. Yeah. Well, listen, thanks again. Don't leave. Let me take since you're not in studio. Whenever you want to come down and in here it's a lot more fun versus this crazy setup. What you're seeing right now too is like you see cameras and actually did you go to school for like broadcasting and TV and stuff or no?
Yeah, it was like sports media.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me see if I can get this. There we go. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, we got your in-studio selfie. All right, see ya. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too.
We still rolling? What'd you think? think she's great.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get her that fight.
Honestly, with the way that everything's been going, like, I think we do have the good juju on our side. Like,
You know that I worry. Let me take these fucking cans off. I worry when people come here that I give them a bad, like that I'm responsible for any bad vibe that they could possibly have, which is I know super stupid and me, you know, but like I get so happy when they get kind of what they thought they could get from talking about it here. That's a cool thing to be part of, and I take no credit, but I will take the credit once it happens.
yes, once it turns out well.
Right now, I'm not taking shit, but when it happens, I'm gonna say you have to come through the show if you want your fight.
Exactly.
We got a direct line to Dana's ear from, or what's his fucking face? What's his name? Maynard? I don't know. They got who makes the fights? Sean Shelby. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we wrap this guy up, and then we get going with the episode number 2. Hey, subscribe.